Welcome everybody to another episode of the LanceScurv Show. I promised everybody that I would get more content in. The sun has been going down earlier and I made a run that took me a little more time and the sun went down. So since I can't depend on the sun, I still carry my own lights. I still carry my own gear wherever I go. So you don't know when I'm going to drop a video. I'm right here in Winter Park, Florida, in the parking lot of Whole Foods on Lee Road in Orlando Avenue, I believe. And this is not the hood, what they would call the hood, but there are a lot of curious onlookers who are driving around, and I have a nice sweet spot in the parking lot, but folks are looking like, what is that nigger doing over there with a tripod and a light speaking into a camera? What is he talking about? When I set this up, I wish I caught it on camera. Somebody drove by and said, "LanceScurv, you're a racist." You know, it was crazy. So the word is getting out, needless to say. Anyway, I don't know if I want to be here long or short. I still have some more runs to do. We have the show to upload on prostitution with Sister Truth and Carrie Lux. It should be ready to upload to YouTube now. It may take another hour or two since it has been, it was a 3-hour show. So by the time you see this, you would have already seen that. So we're trying to keep the content going. We're trying to keep things moving. And that's what it is. It's just like everybody starts coming around and walking around when you start, no matter how remote of a location you go to. Anyway, I want to speak about several things, and I'll wait until I speak about the issue with how our black women are manipulated to go against the men and how the men are manipulated to go against our sisters. That is going to require more than just a parking lot video. But I will say at this point, the other thing I want to touch on was that for those of us who are vibrating on a higher level, all right? For those of us who are vibrating on a higher level, we can't now downgrade our energies or insult our energies by getting caught up in these useless debates and rolling around in the dirt and in the sand with those who have their own agenda and who just want to bring yours down. When you know that you know that you know something and your vibration is getting higher and higher, you must seek that out now and step away from the things that you've come out of or from what people want to bring you down to. They know you're going higher. They know that you're going up. They see you living in the truth. Do not focus on them now, what you're leaving. Focus on what you're going up to. And I'm saying up to symbolically, but it's really about what's on the inside of you. You've been eating well. You've been eating your alkaline diet. You've been eating your vegetables and plant-based foods. You've been staying away from the television set. You've been staying away from the excess distractions on a Facebook timeline. If you do go online, which you are in order to see this video, but if you do that and you are selective in what you watch, you're still good. When you're trying to get into more conversation than you are just absorbing useless information, when you're doing a good deed or two a day for a stranger or somebody who is family to you that you haven't rediscovered that is family, you're doing all the right things right, there will be more distractions coming your way in the form of disgruntled people that are not happy with themselves, disgruntled people who don't want to put the work in to go higher in their vibration. So all they want to do, if they can't use you, they want to tear you down or see you coming away from where you're supposed to go. Even if they don't know what your mission is, they have not walked in your shoes, you are to stay steadfast in what you are doing and what you're feeling. And it's that feeling that will bring you up to where you're supposed to be. And let me tell you from experience, you're not always going to know exactly what is divinely written for you as far as your path is concerned. You have to accept it as it comes along. You have to make sure that you resonate from within and not get caught up in the distractions on the outside. You have to have that singular purpose of mind and that singular focus that even if the world doesn't understand what it is that you're doing or what you're feeling or what you're moving toward, that you're not going to miss a step in trying to convince them that what you're doing is right, or even try to convince them of what you're doing. You got to hold that. Do you need validation from anybody when you have the need to go to the restroom? When you're a child, the restroom is over there. and you're sitting here and you have to pee, you don't say, you might say, hey, I'm going over there to pee to your parent, because your parents still have that kind of proximity and authority over you. But when you have to go to the bathroom, you don't need anybody's permission, now do you? Whether it's a number 1 or a number 2, regardless as to what you got between your legs in this 2019 gender confused world where there's only 2 sexes. But you don't ask for validation, so you should not have to ask for validation in a dysfunctional relationship that you may be in with another adult who has a measure of control over you. You have to bust that, because you got to understand that even though you walk alongside in this world with people who are like-minded, you are still on your own course. As aligned as it may be in your marriage, you're born alone, you are going to transcend alone. Hopefully your connection to your loved one or your spouse is so strong that even though you go through this experience on your own, that on the other side you are connected, because it was a real connection on this level, not a frivolous, I like the way she sexes me in the bed, so we're going to get married because the government says that we have to have a piece of paper. That's not some forevermore, till death do us part and beyond. That's an arrangement while you're on the earth to take care of just your carnal desires. Understand that. Right now, for me, I want to ascend into the things that are permanent on an eternity level. I want to ascend into the things that count, not the things that are here now and gone tomorrow. As far as, 5 years from now, this person's not around. 5 years from now, or 2 years from now, or 2 weeks from now, this situation does me no good. Anything that I do now is an investment with my time. I'm not telling you what to do, but I finished over there at Whole Foods. I brought the car over here and I said, you know what? The few of the things that have hit my heart, I don't care who looks at me funny for sitting out here with a light in a white neighborhood. They're pulling up and like I'm supposed to run over there. Excuse me, this is what I'm doing. No, the hell with you. I'm on my own meteoric rise in this atmosphere, in this world, on this plane, and I have no time to waste. Not because I'm older and going near 60 years old, but I have no time to waste. You never did have any time to waste, even though you wasted time back in the day when you were younger. But you think back and you say, boy, as much as I want to do now, I did waste some time. But even in wasting some time, you learn what not to do. You learn what not to do. So really, was it a waste of time? It wasn't a waste of time because you're still here. But now consciously do not waste any more time. I have no time to get into these disputes and stand still. I got somewhere to go, y'all. Sense of urgency, y'all. Do you have a sense of urgency in your life? Are you sitting down masturbating a remote control? Or are you sitting down waiting to manipulate somebody else who you suck energy from, but you're not generating a legacy of your own? What is your legacy when you die? We say, I say transition, but some of y'all are just going to straight die, and you're not going nowhere except in that dirt. And a lot of you all are so fearful of death that that's where you're going to go. You're just going to die because you're not about nothing in life, whichever way it is, because I can't tell you exactly how it's going to go. And I never transitioned and came back, but I learned the lessons from nature, and nature tells me that there is a cycle of life. But if you're useless, you ain't coming back around no more. What do I mean by cycle of life? And here's an analogy or an expression that I use all the time. A tree grows. It has branches, it has roots, it has bark, it has leaves. Well, guess what? The leaf turns brown and dies, so-called, right? In your lingo. It falls to the ground. It's dead. It what's the word I'm looking for? It degenerates. It becomes part of the soil. It loses its form. But the nutrients that were in that leaf, when it rains, it soaks into the soil, and the roots from the leaf, from the tree, picks those nutrients back up again. The minerals, the vitamins, whatever it is that makes a leaf, and it becomes part of a living plant again because it had value, it had minerals. If your life has no value, what is the universe going to use you for if you've degraded your life to have no value? So where is your sense of urgency to affect the universe around you when we are all interconnected? Whether you want to believe that or know that or not, I know that, more so. I know that by my movements. I'm telling you, y'all might think I'm crazy, but I'm not going to say I read people's minds, but I feel people's energy around me even more so than ever before. And this is why most of the time I don't want to be around people. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, and everybody here, most of the folks here on this channel who I vibe with, who are on that vibration, I want to be around you because we're vibrating on that certain level. But if you're vibrating on a carnal level, a waste your time level, a gossip level, a smile in your face, but you're really jealous about what I'm all about and you're trying to stop me from what I'm doing level, I don't want to be around you. I'm going to find every excuse to get away from you. Understand that. Because that doesn't add any value to my life. At least vibrate on the same level that I'm vibrating on. Or more. And if you're vibrating on a level that's more than me, I'm not going to take from you. I'm just going to use the fact that I see that you're vibrating higher, and that's lighting the way and giving me the direction to go higher because I'm next to you. We're interconnected. Let me tell you something. Even on the simplest of levels, and lots of times I will use a carnal analogy because many of us who want to vibrate higher, that may not be on my level, not that I'm higher than anybody else, but there are people higher than me, and there are people that I'm higher than, and there are lower people than me that are higher than people that are lower than them. So it's not a status thing, it's just where we find ourselves at this particular moment. Like that young boy that got picked on by an older guy. The young boy gets bigger, gets his muscles, and now he comes back and beats up the older guy that used to beat up on him. It's the same thing. But to use an example on a carnal level, I mean, there's certain things that don't even amuse me anymore. There's certain things that don't even catch my eye anymore. Certain things that caught my eye when I was 20 years old doesn't catch my eye now. Or I don't even give it a second thought because I know what it is. I was listening to, I forgot who it was, but I listened to a lot of people that are really, really deep that most people would say, man, them people are crazy. I guess I'm crazy because I'm vibrating on their same crazy level. But I try to break it down in terms that, from my point of view, I'm not saying that what I say is law. If you can relate to what I'm saying, fine. If not, maybe you can call me crazy. And then 2 years from now, you'll say, hey, I understand what he said. So he wasn't crazy. He was just vibrating on a different level. Right? But trust me, it's even now. I'm not saying that I'm not a man and I'm not human, but I look at sex. I look at the lure of sex. I'm saying this as a straight, unfiltered man, not somebody, I'm looking to cheat and I'm looking to do this, I'm looking to dip, I'm watching things around me. I'm married to Mr. Scurv. You all know that that's a very public thing, but I'm just saying separate from that. When I see all things sexual that are prostituted to take your mind off of the righteous things, not that sex is bad, sex is a very good thing when properly utilized. And like Brother Michael Hamer was speaking to me after we recorded, I said, man, I wish I had more time, because he had to go. I said, I wish I had more time to record this. But basically he was saying between a man and a woman, when you're having sex, you're vibrating on the same level. You are feeding each other's souls. So anything else other than that is a waste of time. And I see that. And for all the sexual antics that I have gone on in my life for many decades, I say, man, I really degraded myself. But I've learned and I experienced, so in essence I didn't, if you can understand what I'm saying, because you have the experience now to share with other people. So that's what I'm trying to say, that what amused you then doesn't amuse you now. Even if it's not a sexual thing, I just use that analogy. To the point where right now in my physical body, I'm even beyond sex. I'm getting to the point where Mr. Scurv is a great cook, but I'm even getting to the point where I'm beyond, like, oh, I got to get that food because it looks so good. It's like, it looks good. And I joke like, yeah, I'm going to eat it all down. But it's there. I'll get it when I get it. I'm at that point now. I'm kind of going beyond the physical constraints of my body, which is a good thing, because it means that I'm in a pre-transitional phase. Because could you imagine a person who is in a state of transition where they have the luxury of a deathbed? We'll call it that. I don't mean an immediate accident or something where, you know, you get your head chopped off out of nowhere, you don't know, you don't realize what happened. I'm talking about where maybe you're transitioning, you're expiring, whatever the cause, and you know this. If you are truly ready for that, it means that you've conquered the flesh already. That you don't need to stuff your face with all the food, drink all the wine, have all the sex. You're caught up in the body and the vices that this world can cause the body to give, because this world stimulates you to get caught up in, oh, look at that commercial. I got to get some Papa John's pizza. Oh, look at that commercial. I need to get some McDonald's. They got a special going on tomorrow. Oh, look at that commercial. I got to go to Firehouse Subs. Oh, look at that commercial. I got to have sex. Look at the big titties on that lady. I like to suck on them. I'm being lewd for purpose. So you can see how stupid we sound as the clock ticks on in our life. Are we preparing ourselves for what's next? Or are we going to get left back? No, this is not Christian talk. This is common sense talk. Because I do believe in a system. I do believe in a divine system. Wait a second. Did I tell you I was going to get rid? See, I'm not ready yet because I said believe. I do know. I'm not even going to cut this part out to look cool because, see, I still got that crap inside of me. We need to get that belief word and that believe word out of the system, and I'm still struggling with it. So let me just rephrase myself, and I'm showing you I'm no better than you because I have my own struggles, but I do know that there is a divine system. I do know that there is a creator. So for all the people who say you don't walk my Christian walk and you got to do it this way and you got to do it that way, no, I don't have to do it that way. You can be controlled because somebody else pulls those strings. I'm going on the instinct of what I feel on the inside, just like the so-called, and I hate to call them animals, because most humans act like damn animals, right? Like the animals in the wild, they get their downloads. So I'm going purely on downloads right now. I was told by something higher than me to come over here in this neighborhood while I was making my runs and do this video and talk. Maybe it might get one hit, maybe it might get 1,000 or 100,000. That's not my concern. Right now I'm going to freestyle it forevermore, wherever I feel. If it's somebody that I run into, I get them on camera, something I have to say, it's not going to be, I might do 5 more videos tonight. I might do 10 more tomorrow. And this guy realized there's no way out over here, and he was just being nosy, just wanting to come over here. They do that. I like this spot. I think I'm going to come over here even more so. Cause there was a guy in the video with Mike Hamer yesterday. I didn't look at the whole thing, but he drove all up on the curb because he was steady looking at what he was talking about. Couldn't hear him, but just wanting to push his face up in it. And he ran over the curb. It was a Benz. I think he damaged the vehicle because it was a pothole right there. Crazy. Keep your mind on your own road. But all I'm saying is that when your bags are already packed and you know you have a trip coming that you have to travel, well, guess what? The days before the trip that you take, they're very relaxing and you're very calm because you're prepared. You packed your bags already. Well, in this life, what bag packing are you doing since you know that you will have to transition? And we don't know exactly how it's going to go. There are some Christians and there are some Buddhists and there are Jews and Muslims who are in Islam. And you know, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity isn't the same root. Okay, we understand that. But they feel they know the way, and I don't know nothing. All I know is that I want to be ready for whatever. That I want to change my life. I made up my mind a while ago. I want to change my life. I want to vibrate higher. I want to do better. I want to leave the atmosphere and where I am better off than when I came in. That's how you build your legacy. That's how you affect things around you, because like I said earlier, before, the universe and nature is connected in more ways than we could imagine. This is how the so-called animals and the so-called wild, again, man is wild, and man has showed himself to be a lower life form than some of the animals that we look down on. They know that they better be at peace with themselves, and they better pick up their ears and look around and resonate to know if danger is over there and to stay away from there. And where do I get my food? Because I never saw a rabbit with a refrigerator. I never saw a deer with a refrigerator in the kitchen say, we'll go home and later on and whip up stuff. They've got to eat what nature provides, and nature provides well because they look very healthy, don't they? And we're the only fools that feed ourselves from a refrigerator, from a fast food joint, and we're putting things that we shouldn't be putting in, and that we have the big health problems and mental health problems and challenges because we're off from nature. So since nature is doing so good for all of these so-called animals that are basically what we would call homeless, they don't have a house, but they're living healthy and they're living good. They have all their teeth, unless they get an injury from being attacked by somebody higher on the food chain, which I would say is not as big or not as common as you might think out there. But us here, we're attacked mentally, physically, spiritually. And we're not what we should be. We're not what we should be. So who's really living in the wild? When you can have an animal who doesn't have a nice home and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, 9, 10 bedrooms and health care. They don't need health care. The fruits and the vegetables, and for those who are carnivores who eat meat, and they're the only ones who are supposed to eat meat because they got the teeth for it in the short digestive system. But for all of you who are jumping up into my praise the Lord, but you're going to the steakhouse afterward and eating something that you shouldn't be putting in and disrespecting the body that you say Christ gave you, or you're saying praise the Lord, but you're checking out the panty line in front of you of the sister who's sincere in being there, even though maybe she shouldn't be there, but you checking her out and you should be there focused on what you say you focusing on. Hypocritical. And we're all sincere when we're at a point where we think what we're doing is the right thing. So I'm not going to knock people when they're in that phase, but when they go higher, embrace it. When you see things for what they are, embrace it. But don't hold back because somebody else now, it's not a learning curve thing here. It's not a curve where you ever take the test where if the whole class does good and you do bad, they pull you up. Ain't no all boats rising situation going on over here. You got to stand on your own when it comes time for your legacy when you face eternity. But like I was saying, when you are blessed with the luxury of a deathbed, meaning that, and that's a picture that I want to draw with my hand. The Creator will not let me transition until I draw that picture, because I have been commissioned on a divine level to draw that picture. And what's the picture going to look like? I'm going to tell you from now. There's going to be an older man, an older woman, great-grandmother, great-grandfather, with a loving face. And they're going to be in a bed. Doesn't mean that they're going to be in a hospital, right? They have such a loving, relaxed, peaceful face. And they're reclined, maybe not all the way flat, but they're sitting up a little bit. And you can see their family standing around them. And you can see that some members of the family are saddened. Some are just detached as far as emotion, but they're in deep thought. Some are happy. Not happy that, oh, great-grandma gonna die and I'm gonna get her, the insurance policy is gonna hook me up with some money. No, happy that after the life that they saw and observed her live as they grew up, they see that she is really at peace when facing the prospect of transition. Because you did right in this particular level in this life, that now a third grader does all the homework right and pass all the tests as a third grader. Well, guess what? They're now a fourth grader before they step foot in the fourth grade classroom. So for those of us in this life, even if you're a late bloomer, you know the popcorn analogy I always use. I'm not going to say it. If you want me to say it in the next video, I would, or I'll make a separate popcorn analogy video and drop it in. But maybe you might be that kernel of popcorn that popped late, long after all the kernels popped. So you might be a late bloomer, but as long as you get it, you get it. But don't count on being a late bloomer and say, well, I'm just going to get down with all this carnal stuff, and right before I die, I'm going to straighten up. No, that's not acceptable. But then you see the members of the family standing around holding hands, and they're coming to terms with their own sense of mortality because they see their great-grandmother or their great-grandfather about to transition. And because they know that she lived a righteous life beyond what any religion says, okay? Got a scratch over here. I don't know if these mosquitoes are trying to get me with all this light. But she's ready because of that. So now you're here on earth and you can have fun, you can laugh, you can tell a joke, you might let a word slip, you might say a cuss word, you might lust after your mate. It's okay to lust after your mate. There's a Scurv over there by the stove bending over, putting something in, and I cut a little eye like, that look kind of good. I'm not saying don't live, but keep yourself in control and focus your energies where you need to focus it, because you should be packing your bags, even when there's no hint of you transitioning. But gather up all the experiences that you can and process it so you can have a deeper wisdom. So it sharpens your blade, so you're like a hot knife cutting through butter. That's what you have to do. It makes life so much easier. Right now, Mrs. Scurv is out and about. And she asked me to come over here on this side of town to do what I had to do. And I'm hanging out with myself. I'm at peace with myself. I'm not looking around. Look, the hoopty's right here. My 1996 Toyota Corolla. And I don't want to mess up the angle. I'll turn it around. I saw a dude over there. I have to throw this one in. And this maybe doesn't have any relevance to the story that I just told. Let me finish up that one first. So right there at that moment, she has the luxury of knowing that she's going to transition, and she transitions right in front of the very eyes of that family. To me, that's a very beautiful thing. As a human being, you will shed tears because you miss your great-grandmother, your great-grandfather, your grandmother, your grandfather, your sister, your brother, your wife, your husband, whichever it may be. But when you know that their bags were packed, you know that they're in a better place. When their bags are packed righteously, to have lived a righteous life, to be a plus to everybody around them, you have nothing to worry about, because nature, or whatever you want to call it, with our limited vision, that we must also admit that as human beings who just got here, we don't know everything. So how you going to push your nose up and, yes, I know, and it's going to be this way, and if you don't agree with me, and get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. What do we really know? Be humble. Look around you at the examples of what has been and what has always been, and look at the system and natural order of this world. And understand it's going to be going on long after you. And it's like an algebraic equation where there's a part of it that you don't know. They give you the answer of what it is, and they give you one element, but you're supposed to figure out by the end result what that missing component is. So if I say 3 plus blank equals 4, if you are smart enough to figure out, well, it's a blank, I don't know, but you have to figure that out. And so if you say, figure out that 3 plus 1 is 4, then you know what 4 is. So you have to be able to see the unknown by what you see. So this is why me personally, I have figured it out. I look at nature, and I look at nature that's aside from man's creation, and see how perfect it is. And that, in essence, to me, that's our Bible. That's our Bible right there. Now, maybe some will say, Lance, you're off your rocker, you're crazy. Say that. But that's my Bible. How is it that you feel a need to bring yourself back into line when you're working all these weeks of the year and you say, I can't wait to go on vacation? And where do you go? The Caribbean? You want to go out to the country? You want to go out somewhere where it's natural, away from the hustle and bustle of this man-made, engineered, synthetic world that does nothing to you to sustain you. You are drained. You are drained, right? So you want to go back to refill yourself. But what if you can remain inside of that forevermore? What if? What if you can live a life in that will sustain you? You wouldn't need to go and find it out, but you're telling on yourself when you say that. This man-made world is not for us to sustain us. It's nature. And that's what we need to be connected to. And this is why the enemy wants to destroy all things natural. You have GMO foods, so you can't feed yourself right. You have concrete jungles, artificial light. There's a demand for their greed to run the world 24/7. So you have to have a night shift now. Now I understand you have hospitals, doctors and nurses that are so-called necessary, wouldn't have to be as necessary if we never left nature in the get-go. But for now in this world, I understand that. Law enforcement, or police, which are not really my friends, but in a perfect world, you might need that if there's some help. I understand that. I'm not going to argue that point right now. But if we were totally natural and cut away from the carnal things and things that titillate us in this world, we would need police officers. Because our love for each other and our love for righteousness would keep us in check. But since we don't love righteousness and we don't have a love for each other, how are we going to love somebody else? So you see the next man's wife. She minding her business. You sitting there lusting after her. You see somebody drop their wallet and you wait for them to walk away, and maybe they got some money over there. Let me go pick it up. For what? Because you're not pure of heart. And so when they say that, Christians will say, God sees everything that you do. They don't really believe that, because look how much hell is going on in the Christian church, in Islam, in Judaism, and all these different so-called religions. But nature is perfect. You do something wrong, nature's going to immediately make you suffer for it. If you mess with the cubs of a bear and the mama bear is close by, she's going to chew your head off. She's going to kill you immediately. So through the example of somebody who tried to cross the line, that there's consequences for these things. But most of us feel we're not going to get consequences because we're disconnected from all things righteous. So I know how to preserve myself and keep myself in line. There's certain things I ain't going to do. It ain't worth it. No matter how much you may be tempted to do it, let me tell you something, it ain't worth it. I like being around at this age. I don't know when my time is going to come, when the universe calls me to transition, but I damn sure want to be ready. I don't want to be caught out there and be stuck. Oh man, I had all these years that I could have elevated myself, not necessarily in this system. So if you're not a millionaire, don't feel bad. If you're not a scholar with so many degrees on man's limited schools of learning, limited, yes, limited. So many people, they master quotology to spit back what they've been told, and they really didn't learn or think anything. They just memorized something to pass a test and spit it back, and now they go out into the world and say, and push themselves or push their chest out like, I'm such a scholar because I have this piece of paper, but you're not a thinker. When I look at Brother Kwaku, I'm not just gassing him up because he's my brother-in-law, but when I look at him, I see a real thinker. I see a man who has taught himself so much. And of course, you have to learn from other people. I understand that. But when you sit there and you really reason with the situation and use logic and decipher things and figure them out like people figure out the old Rubik's Cube, right? Well, when you build something, and he's in construction and he's a builder, and he's one of the best, he's not going to tell you. I like to see that process. It has really inspired me to get more back into what I used to be in certain areas of my life, when I would fix things up and run wiring and do the interior decorating and build walls. And there are people who look at me now and they say, man, I don't know if Scurv can handle a screwdriver. That's not correct. I went through many emotional things in prior relationships that kind of cut my feeling for that. When I went through the trauma of not dealing with them anymore, going through a divorce or going through a breakup, and saying, all these things I tried to do to accomplish, to please a person, which I shouldn't have been doing it to please a person, right? It should come from the heart. I abandoned everything. I threw out the baby with the bathwater. So now it's stimulating me to really come back, because I'm an artist on so many levels. I paint better than I draw, but you'll never know that because you never saw me paint. I can make any interior in a house look like any Park Avenue or affluent multi-million-dollar interior. It might be a little smaller, but I walked away from that. So there's a lesson in that. When you have something that you do, never let any external situation cause you to lose yourself and to forget what it is that you love to do. We got some homework before I go that reminds me. So let me finish up the luxury of the deathbed. That transition will make you think about where you are on the scale of readiness. When you see somebody pass away and transition to a better place, if they did right, you start to do a gut check like, they were here yesterday. I spoke to them last month. And now they're gone. They're not really gone. Energy is never destroyed, it just changes forms. Do you cry when the boiling water on that pot on the stove disappears and you don't see it no more because you left it on too long? No. it changed into steam. Do you cry when you see an ice cube that you put down and it melted in the water? You don't see the ice cube no more? No, you have sense enough to know that it changed forms. And this is what happens with us when humans transition. We just don't know what it is coming on the next thing. And that should be enough of what keeps us in check. But we go through these reality checks when someone around us passes away, and then we go back to doing our same old dirt. We go back to doing the same things we've always been doing, and some of us get pushed more into it to run away from the reality that we saw when that person transitioned, to remind us that we're not always here. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. A lot of us are so caught up on this level. And just here in the same parking lot, I saw a black man, and I was speaking, big ups to Brother Sean. I was actually speaking to him on the phone when I saw this, a young man, black man, probably about maybe, I don't know why I say 32 years old, right? Maybe 35, slender guy, well built, tie, shirt on, getting out of a BMW. No shade here. Let me just say, I'm not envious of what anybody has, because I am completely happy right now. Money for me is just a tool. It's not for status. It's not to show you that I have money or I don't have money, or I'm miserable until I don't care about money. Only as it relates to me being in the system right now. When I am out of the system, I can give a damn about money, because I'll be hanging out with the deer and the rabbits and getting the free, mangoes and the free nuts and the free food and everything like that. When it rains, I catch it, I drink it. I don't need the water company. I don't need the gas company. I get my wood. I may get some solar power just in case something jumps off in the middle of the night. And even then, it's free. So I'm gonna pay my way out the system and be free. I don't even want to see a clock in my house. I'm gonna go by the sun and how I feel. That to me is success. But when I saw this gentleman, I picked up a lot in his spirit, and he was like maybe 3 car lengths behind me in the parking lot. I was parked. There was a space so the cars can go back and forth with the 2 arrows. And then there was another spot, and there was another one where he got out. And when he got out his vehicle, because my eyes were scanning all over. People watch people, and I feel their spirit. So when he got out of the vehicle, he got out of the vehicle so stiff, not like an old man or a person who worked out and they were stiff, but he was holding himself a certain way that looked uncomfortable, like he was posing. That's what caught my eye. So I said, let me check this dude out. Let me check this body language out. So he looked around and he studied everybody who was around him. He couldn't see me because I was laying back in the cut on the phone. And so he looked around and nobody really noticed him. That's what I picked up, like, you're not noticing me. I'm a handsome, well-built, well-dressed black man getting out of my BMW. It was like maybe a late model. It had to be something like within the last 2 years. Really looked nice for what it was. All props to him. But he was so stiff in how he walked, and he was just studying to look around to see who's looking at him. Like, he wasn't going to the store to come to the store, or maybe he wasn't walking through life like, okay, I'm just going through life and I have a car, whatever. You could tell that car and how he was dressed and his imagery, he depended on that to feel maybe a sense of self-esteem, because the brother wasn't relaxed at all. And so he walked toward Whole Foods, and there was a Lexus that pulled up next to him, and there were some young ladies that came out that the world would say were extremely attractive. And so all of a sudden he pointed to his head, because he was almost halfway to the door, but he saw them and he got out. He turned around and went back to the car. Now he passed them. They were heading back to the supermarket, and he got to the car, but he was really turning back for them, because when he got to the door of his car, he acted like he was putting his key in, then he turned around and walked. But he was walking the stiff walk. Like, I've worked hard to attain success in this artificial system, so why isn't anybody giving me the props that I thought I would get? Because when I saw people like this, I thought they had it all. But I'm feeling and understanding that nobody really gives a damn, and I feel quite shallow because I don't get the props that I think I should get. This is what I downloaded from seeing this brother. Because he wasn't relaxed. He was holding his shoulders up all kind of funny ways and walking stiff like he was afraid to put a wrinkle in his clothes. I said, man, what kind of life is that? Now, maybe I'm completely wrong, but when I observe on a deep level, I'm batting like 98%, y'all. I lived enough life to kind of know when something comes to me, I know what it is. Just like agents that have been around me in the recent past, and it's like, they know that I know who they are. And they really know that I know who they are now. But when they're playing their game on everybody else, they want to act like, oh no, he's a troublemaker because I'm the real thing. You're going to get revealed over time. And sometimes I play the dumb role on purpose. I play the clown role on purpose. I play different roles like I'm stupid to certain things. And people say, he's not perceptive, but I'm as deep as they come, y'all. And the discernment for me is very high because I'm vibrating on a very, very high level right now. Trust and believe I'm vibrating on a very, very high level. And since I had more time to meditate, hours a day, to get a full night's sleep and then make sure to stay in bed an extra 30 minutes, to have more time to do shows and speak from the heart, and to focus on what these goals are that I have immediately and long term, to know what's important to me and to know what's going to really like fall off. I don't really invest my time into something that's going to fall off. But what about your checklist, y'all? We're moving toward transition. Are you ready? Are you ready? Na 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 na. What's that song? Rumpe, rumpe, rumpe. That was back in what, 2005 or 2006? I still love that song. If you don't know it, it's what, R-O-M-P-E, Daddy Yankee. It's just a song, it's some Latino song. I love it. Na 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 na. I don't even know what the hell they're saying. But anyway, get your pad out. I'm going to wrap this up because I'm going to go over and get some vegan pizza. No soy, no dairy. If you happen to be in the Orlando area, this is a free plug for them. You can go over to Blaze Pizza. They have it here on Lee Road on Orlando Avenue. It's open till 10 or 10:30 at night. And it's gluten-free crust, dairy-free vegan cheese, vegetables, and whatever little seasonings you want to put on. It's totally vegan, totally plant-based. And every now and then when you have, and it tastes like pizza. It's not some old dry thing that you buy in a box in the supermarket and you put it in the oven or something and it comes out all hard and stiff. And you'd rather, it becomes an expensive Frisbee. It's like, I'm not eating this. This is not pizza. Let's go to the park and throw this thing around like a Frisbee. Hard like that. You can put it up on your side. You can put it in the oven. Those that come from the stores, you can slap it on as a donut and drive your car on it. It's so stiff. It's so stiff, men want to know what's in there that need Viagra, and I'll eat this pizza. Maybe it can be stiff like that. Dumb joke. But anyway, if you're in the Orlando area, Blaze Pizza. There was one when we went to Kentucky last year. It wasn't Blaze Pizza per se, but it was another vegan pizza joint where they offered that. It was a big part of their menu. And all the ingredients are on the money. But it's mostly vegetables and mostly the pineapple, the sauce, the vegetables, the onions, the peppers, the garlic, whatever you want to put on there. So it's mostly vegetables, but it's a gluten-free, because I don't eat anything wheat. I don't know, I'm talking one thing and I'm going off into the other. And I guess on a rant, y'all like that when I do that, right? If you want more rants from me where I just talk and just jump from subject to subject, because my mind is quick like that, so I'll do it. Just let me know. But the main thing I wanted to do, for you to help find yourself, even on a minuscule level, even on an elementary level, the simple things, not the things that cost lots of money that some of us never do, but the simple things in life. If you want to put 10 things down, if you want to put 3 things down, I would suggest putting 3 things down on this list. But if you want to get more extensive, go ahead. And what's the list going to contain? The things that you like to do. Excuse me. What kind of burp was that? I didn't even eat in a long time. I'm hungry right now anyway. My lips are getting all dry. But what are the things that you like to do, no matter how corny or how minuscule or how trivial they are to somebody else? What are the things that you like to do? And I had to face this years ago. And I said, and we're not talking about influences, we're like, this is what I like to do because this person who I'm with likes to do it, or what do you like to do if you can do it, if you had more time in the day? So don't come and say, well, I don't have enough time in the day to do it anyway. No. What is it that you like to do, right? For me, and I haven't really got it into it all the way, right? But at least I know. And I'll be doing it very soon when I make certain other transitions. I don't mean the transition. I mean, hopefully not, right? But the other transitions in my life, because I'm moving myself into a certain position to righteously attack life to be more effective. See, a fighter doesn't come out after he studies his opponent, just run up on him and throw punches. You got to see how he's fighting. You got to see his stance. You got to see how he reacts to what you throw out there, even if what you throw out there is fake, to get a reaction, to put it in your brain and memory to say, okay, now I can do a plan of attack because I read this person enough. You understand? So you just can't run out and just do like that. You got to know. So I made certain adjustments, and I am in the process right now of making certain adjustments in my life so I can live life on a totally fulfilling level and totally effective every hour, every minute, every second, every day. And where I find myself right now, I have not had it like this all my life. I've always wanted to be where all pistons are firing, where my health is correct, where my mind is correct, my body is emotions, and my spirit is correct. And here I am. So I'm going to get more done in the next few months, in the next few years than I ever did on all levels. So you watch out for that. And it's because I'm vibrating higher. I made it that way. I shunned the good and kept the bad. But you put down on the list the 3 things that mean a lot to you. And it doesn't mean, well, I want to get this college degree and I want to get this Rolls Royce Bentley. No, it doesn't mean that. It means, do you like to ride a bike? You like to ride a bike, pedal a bike? When was the last time you did that? You want to walk barefoot on the beach? When was the last time you did that? Force time to do that. For those people who say, well, I have no time in my day. When nature calls, you make time, don't you? You hear that universal sound of distress when you didn't eat something that wasn't quite correct. And what does the sound like? Then you know it's time. Ooh, I got to get out of here. Where's the toilet? We ain't talking about a number 1. Now tell me if I'm wrong. That's the universal intestinal sound of distress when nature says, listen, you got to go now. And what do? You make time for it. So you've got to have that same sense of urgency for the things that bring joy into your life, because we know out here with the negative forces that we fight against and the things that are trivial and mean nothing to the upliftment of our life that demand that we have that time for it. It's your life. Why can't you claim your life back and do the things that you like to do? Sometimes I want to be free floating. I was in the parking lot over there before I even went in the store talking to Brother Sean for about an hour because I wanted to. I went in there. I called Mr. Scurv. I said, okay, this is what I'm getting, but what do you want? I never walk without thinking of her and what her needs and what she may desire. It brings joy to my heart to be that everyday Santa Claus for her, even though we know Santa Claus is a fictional situation, and it's really Satan's claws. They say the devil's a man in a red suit. Well, look at Santa. He's in a red suit, and it's more telltale because he's in a red suit, and they say his name is Santa. It's Satan, and it's a white man coming down your chimney, not to bring you gifts, but to put you into more distress. That's the way it is, and we can go off on that subject, but like I said, we want to do the things that a little bit every day. It doesn't have to be the big thing that never comes, that you have to plan for. But even if you steal 10 minutes to just take that walk, you steal 10 minutes out of your day. And I don't mean steal because it's your day, right? But I'm saying it that way. Force it. I'm going on this bike for the next 10 minutes. The next day, make it 15. Until if you want to go out there for 2 hours. Me, I want to free float all day. That's what I want to do. I want to get up and go where I want to go. I want to do what I want to do. And this is what I want to do. This is my commitment to this, is thinking on a higher level and vibrating on a higher level. That's all I talk about. I can get decadent as a way of bringing the lowest common denominator when somebody is already there, and then bring them up. But I don't have to talk about decadence. People say, man, one person, Lance, you always speak about things that are sexual. Because I know we all know about things that are sexual, don't you? Half of y'all that are watching this video probably had an orgasm within the last 3 hours of watching it. If whether it was with somebody or by yourself. You know what I mean, right? Let's be real. So we are physical beings. I don't have to know your business, but I know how we're wired. And us being human, come on, we already know the deal. We don't even have to go there. So let's keep it on a higher level, but I will bring things down to other levels so people will laugh and say, man, he read me. Because if I'm in 12th grade, I can walk into a 3rd grade classroom and tell them what they're studying to learn now. Why? Because I've been there. But anyway, I'm going to go on and get a little slice. I'm getting a whole pie. I'm eating the bad boy. Mrs. Scurv said, Dad, I don't want none. Well, guess what? I'm going to eat that pizza. And go on my Instagram. I'm probably going to take a picture of it and put it up there. I'm going to sit inside there and eat. And, well, yeah, you're not seeing this now, but you will see it. Go on my Instagram back on this date. This video will probably be up tomorrow. And check out the nice little pizza. I had a Blaze Pizza. Instagram, LanceScurv. All my social media is under LanceScurv, whether it's Pinterest, LanceScurv, LinkedIn, LanceScurv, Twitter, LanceScurv, motorcycles, LanceScurv. No, I'm just joking. I'm not into motorcycles. The LanceScurv.com website, I'm working on that extensively. And I'm going to say it from now. I'm putting it out there from now. Before I do that, let me just say, go down below and sign up for the email newsletter, which is going back to my blog, because videos like this, you can watch them on YouTube, but they will always be put up on the blog. So why should you go on the website? Well, because I write, I draw, there will be other things on LanceScurv.com that you will not see on YouTube. And if YouTube collapses or boots me off or knocks off my channel, like they do to a lot of conscious black individuals, you will still find everything there. So you say, well, they knock you off of YouTube, we're not going to see your videos anymore. Yes, you will, because I'm on another platform, another video platform that will have everything there. It may get knocked down for a while, but I will replace the links and put it back up. It will be no problem. It will be totally independent. I'm not depending on nobody else's platform to set me up for failure. Also, download the LanceScurv app at the Google Play Store, the App Store, the Apple Store, and Amazon.com. There you can download the app, which is completely free. You can see the new artwork, the new writings, different alerts, or you can see the videos. The first thing you'll see when you open that app up, after a little logo, you will see the videos. So you can have that without having to go on and let me go on YouTube or let me go and type in the website. It'll bring it to you right there. I worked hard on that from about 6 years ago, and it's been going strong ever since. I just have to push it out there more, because many people don't even know that LanceScurv has his own app that's fully functional and full of unique content. Yes, I do have a maybe phenomenal work ethic. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But I'm on fire, and I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about my people. I love my people. I love being black. I love my blackness. And if I had to do it all over again, I would come back the same way. No matter what we've gone through, you know that that's something. If you love something so much, you will risk it. Come on, y'all. Listen, fellas, you were 15 and 16 years old. You knew if you were caught in that young girl's house because you loved her so much by that daddy, he's going to kill you. So you waited till his bedroom light went out, and her bedroom was above his room. You climbed a rope to get to her, just to hold her. Not even about sex. A man will go after the woman that he loves, and he ain't gonna let nothing stop him. Passion is a wonderful thing, and I'm still full of passion. No matter how old I am, I'm gonna be full of passion. If I can only utter just one word at a time, I'm full of passion. Like Muhammad Ali, to the day he transitioned, I think a week before he passed, and it was because of septic shock, was the reason why he passed. Photos were taken of him, and I believe because of the Parkinson's, he couldn't really move his face as much, but there was a slight smirk in those photos. And let me know in the comment area if you ever saw those photos. There was which meant that he was happy and there with us in abundance, even though his physical body could not show that smile, the full smile, or the poems, or the things and the tricks that he would do. To the last day, he was passionate. And if he could only curve his lip up a little bit, that's like a person lifting weights and setting a new record. It might have been physically hard, but it would still shine through. And this is one thing I know about myself. My passion will never leave me. I am not going to allow the world to suck out my ambition and suck out my passion and make me feel as though I can't accomplish anything because you're too old or because you're too overworked or you don't have money. I'm a juggernaut. I'm not saying this because of me. I'm not saying this like I'm bragging about me, like I'm all that. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm connected to, and I'm going to say this again like I said it before, I did say I was going, right? I got so much passion, I'm not even looking to go get the pizza. I'd rather keep going and talking to you. Do you doubt that I can sit here for 6 more hours and talk? Do I have a script? No. I'm in the street, y'all. Don't you see that? This is no artificial background. Look at that. You know what I mean? How many people drive by? Look, there's Scurv over there. Somebody at the beginning of the video screamed out and said I was racist. Oh, Scurv, you're racist. Yo, maybe if you were born in my shoes and in my skin, you might be called that also, but really it's passion for righteousness and justice and passion for my people. I am not a beat down coon, Sambo-esque individual who's scared to speak my mind. I don't care who it is or where it is. Come on, y'all. Do you doubt that I would do that? Been doing this for a long time. I've been living my life like this for a long time, even before there was a thing called YouTube videos. I've always been this way, y'all. So if you don't know nothing about me, check with the people who really know me. This ain't never going to stop. No matter what platform I use, it's never going to stop. Even the day before I transitioned, if I was in Muhammad Ali's shoes, you're going to see that little smirk. You're going to see something to let you know, a sparkle in my eye, that I'm still here. Because I'm a force of nature, because I'm connected to nature. And you're a force of nature because you're connected to nature. The problem is you forgot that. And there's no white man system that's going to keep me from nature. There's no oppressive system that's going to beat the nature out of me because I'm in an office cubicle with artificial lighting, eating a burger with GMO food, lessening my vibration. No, I refuse all that. I don't want that. I don't need that. That's not something that I need. I'm bigger than that. And the problem is that they don't want you to know that. As long as you suck from their engineered nipple, they know they got you. As long as you're in their religion waiting for something to happen, well, he's going to bust through the sky and he's going to make everything all right, then he got you. I'm active. Like in yogurt, they say the active cultures in yogurt. Well, I'm one of them things that can't sit still. I'm one of them ones you got to watch. They try to label me hyperactive as a child, but I was not hyperactive. I was right on par. My mother would never allow, and my father would never allow, well, he might need medication. Well, what, am I hyperactive now? Am I hyperactive now? I'm focused, and when I was born, I even knew there's something beyond what they were telling me, and I was always questioning things, so they want to shoot you down and label you something, so they can quell that thing that may be a threat to their children later on, and their children will not be able to oppress you and use you and suck your righteous creativity out of you for their benefit. I'm not hyperactive. I'm just a damn force of nature. April comes, April 8th, next year, 2020, I turned 57. And I'm still a force of nature. I'm still that guy plus all that and even more. And I'm not going to couple up my train car or hitch my trailer to a vehicle of religion and lose the steam that I have. Because when you are a force of nature, righteously connected up to the things of the divine nature, you don't have time to be bitter. You don't have time to be envious. You don't have time to take a narrow cardboard box of a religion and beat somebody over the head with it because you don't have no power in your life. I don't need that. Look at me. Like when what was the guy? What was the thing in the science fiction shows? I think it was The Fly, or maybe it wasn't The Fly. It was Swamp Thing, or it was something like that. And they basically said he was talking to his girlfriend, and he said, "Look at me, look at me." I forget what science fiction picture that was. And she was like, oh my God, I love you, but oh my God, you know what I mean? He wasn't getting no booty that night. Maybe it was the fly. But all I'm saying is, look at me. I'm no special, more so than anybody else, but I am special. Not over you, because we should be connected to the same source. But the problem is that, or the challenge is that you don't realize what you should be plugged up to. So they say, Lance, man, you're a great guy. I'm humble because I know that it's not me. It's the nature behind me and what I'm connected into. So as long as I'm connected to this righteous nature, expect spectacular things from me. Just the same way I want you to connect up to the righteous nature and make spectacular things happen to you and with you and from you. You're special. And I hate to see the potential and the seeds of greatness that are inside of you just wither away and not plant and grow the way they should. It hurts me. This is why I would stand out in a damn white people neighborhood parking lot, because I was told to do this through the download and do this way. There's some who are pulling up over there. There's a little road to go out there, and they're listening. Put the window down and they, honey, don't look at him. Let's see if he's talking that militant stuff. I do believe I saw him on YouTube. And they hear the stuff that's coming out my mouth righteous. That's not the only thing I talk about, white man. You're not the biggest thing and the only thing in my world. You just won't let me go. So like that dog biting the leg or the pants leg of the mailman while he's trying to deliver the mail, you've been biting on my leg and you've been getting in my way. I'm trying to kick you off because I don't need you. You need me because I got something to deliver. I got something to do. So when you see me come on here talk about white supremacy and racism, that's a very small part of what I think about. I think about so many other things on a motivational level, on a spiritual level, on a family level, on a synchronization with nature level. Don't flatter yourself, white man. And yet there's 2 or 3 of them over there looking at me right now. I don't give a damn. Truth is truth is truth. I don't lower my voice when I'm speaking truth. I don't care who it is around me. Take it or leave it alone. Well, where does he get his backup from? Is he part of law enforcement? Is he part of this or part of that? It's funny how they think. But you know, I found something the other day, and it reminded me in my employment here in Florida, how I've come through different worlds. I'm not even going to pause the video. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to show it to you right now. It's just going to take a second. Just let me get it. And of course, the sound you can still hear while I step into the car and get. I just want to show you this, and some of you already know. You're like, I can't even see him, but where is this thing? Oh, here it is. Let me get out of this car. Here it is. Coming back. Right? Look at this. See this? It's a special badge that I had made when I was in corrections, and on the top of it, you can see that it says Scurvin, right? Orange County Corrections. You can only get that when you're really in that. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, but that made me think like, okay, I went through that phase for a couple of years doing that job. And in other states in corrections and prisons and different things and media, entertainment, People's Court TV show, crossing over John Edwards TV show, doing security and watching these stars and watching these people and how things work. And it made me realize that I've been groomed for this. Growing up in New York City, seeing the things in the street that I saw from the 70s when I was 11, 12 years old, and jump on the subway and go into the most grittiest parts of New York City in the old Times Square. Not the Disney Times Square, but the gritty prostitute, drug user, slimy, pervert type, whatever. Like I say, in this lifetime, I've done seen it all. I have a lot of stories to share and to tell. I've been through a lot of different phases, as we all have. It's just that I know that I'm made in a special way to do what I do. So that being said, I just want to say, I love you all, and this is what I do this for. But we're going to have a lot of unique content. 2020, mark my words, is going to be a phenomenal year on this platform. We're going to have some unique content, and I will accept being a global entity as far as the platform is concerned. And I embrace everyone. 407-590-0755 is the number you can reach me on WhatsApp. Sister M, you dropped some serious prophecy on us. Everyone enjoys and has enjoyed and has been fed by what you had to say. It was done in a very sincere manner that was heartfelt. You weren't screaming like a banshee, bitter and mad and putting up a front. You were just so cool in what you said, and it just resonated. And when something's right, you don't have to force it. It's like that old song from back in the 70s. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it flow. I'm going to Google that. I forgot. The title's got to be some of the words from there, but I want to hear that song. I love that. I love old music. And like I said, my thoughts, I'm even entertained by my own brain because I'm that crazy. But anyway, like I said, I got to go. I'm getting hungry. My lips are getting all white. They're going to think I'm a crackhead. I'm not trying to be LL Cool J. I'm older than him. You know, we come from the same place. If you don't know about the fight we almost had back years ago, I'll make a little video just for that to drop the link. That was a funny thing. It never came to that. But anyway, all I want to say is I love you. I do this from the heart. Much love to my sisters, my beautiful black sisters, my beautiful black sisters. Hold it down. Even when the world calls you a bitch and a whore, even when you're misled and call yourself a bitch and a whore, you're not that. Know that Scurv loves you righteously, not because of your ass and your pussy and your titties. I love you for who you are, the energy that you have, even when you don't know you have it. You are beautiful, no matter what the world says you are. No matter what hue you are, no matter how wide your nose is or kinky your hair is, I love all of it. Not in a carnal way, but in a divine way. When I see you on point, it brings me comfort. When I see you off cue and off point, it brings me pain. I just want to see you come back to who you are. And my brothers, when I see that you're trying to be something other than what you are, it hurts me. You're trying to be a woman, man, some of y'all. You're not that. Come back into who you are. Our sisters need you. Why are you running after the white woman? She's an agent, a double agent. She's working for white supremacy to bring babies that are mixed into the world, to erase black. We know it's a black baby that came out that may be of a lighter hue, but they don't want to acknowledge black anymore. So no matter what freakish things she does to you, or how much money she has and hooks you up or whatever have you, go find your black sister. Go find her. She needs you. She yearns for you. But first you have to be that man first. You got to be that man first. If you didn't have the example of a man to teach you manhood, to bring you into that place, find one. You can be a male who is considered a man by these lower engineered man-made world standards, but go back to what the soul of a man is, and trust me. And for those who feel that, well, I can't attract a good woman, be more of a man. Be more of a man. And you have many options that you must choose your one. Now, I know in other countries and in the motherland, they say that you can have 4 and 5 wives, but that is not about, I got 4 or 5 vaginas to jump up and down inside of. And even on this level, and I'm going to say it again, I said I was going to go, I got to say one more thing. That we should be doing that now. But your penis should not have anything to do with it. You got all this energy to run around with all these women? Cut that. Have your one woman, but love on 4 or 5 other ones righteously, where you help them out and you are the man in their life until they get one for themselves 24/7. Not for sex, not for some oral sex, not for some creeping, no. Where you can lend your energy and your wisdom to them. They have kids, they need that. You understand? The righteous way. Give your energy righteously to your sisters. And if we have enough brothers to do that, overlapping over and above. Why are you going to the titty bar, man? Why are you sitting up watching football all day on the weekend? Oh, I deserve this. I work hard all week. There's a sister that needs you. We have to build our community. Watching sports is not going to build your community. Going around to fellas and having a drink and talking stupidness that you can't talk around your wife is not building our community. Get with the brothers if you do, and bring your heads together and say, you know what? Let's do this. There's an older woman who lives down the block and her house is in shambles. Let's get some money together. Let's go and knock some doors, not for us, but for that lady down the block. She raised half the kids in this neighborhood, and look, nobody's helping her. And go paint her house. Go help her clean out her house. She might be a pack rat. Cut her grass and make it where her house looks good. Give her a little 10% of your energy. Give her 2 hours out of your day. Give her 2 hours out of your day. What if we had 25 brothers to give 2 hours a week, not even out the day, a week to that woman? That's 50 hours of sweat equity. She should be living in a palace. And yes, take 5% of what you buy from the grocery store. See what she likes to eat. Pick up a few things off the shelf. If 25 of y'all did that and said, hey, Ma, this is for you. You say you like oat milk, or you say you like this kind of pasta. Give her healthy things. Don't give her nothing to kill her or clog up her arteries, or no pork. But we have to think the collective, because the example of nature gives us that feeling of being, because we're connected. Or why aren't we connected as a people, no matter where you are? Why aren't we connected? What has got in between us and short-circuited us? Why are we lusting after dollars and forgot the value of each other as a people? What enemy got into your head and turned you out till you see your own brother or sister and you mean mug them or look at them just as an object of pleasure? What got there? White supremacy. You must kill white supremacy. And don't tell me I said kill white people, because they're doing a good damn job of that themselves. As long as they stay out in front of the sun, because the sun don't like them. Sun don't burn us, it feeds us. They got to put on a suntan lotion. And Brother Haru said, not Baba Haru, but Brother Haru was telling me, I'm going to give you a little tidbit of what he said that they found out. When they put a person, a white person, under a UV light, and they look at them with the suntan lotion on their face, they look like a person in blackface, so they are mimicking us under the sun, so the sun doesn't bother them, just like it doesn't bother us. How's that? And I hope I can still get with him tonight, because we were supposed to do a recording, but we played phone tag, and, you know, we'll do it another day. But I want you to hear what he has to say. We got some work to do, but we can laugh together, eat together, have good times together as we build our community, come back more into who we are supposed to be, and we'll find that inner joy that we cannot purchase by going into the white man's store and wasting this precious money that's precious only to pay our way to get out of the system. Not precious to say, I got money and I'm going to keep putting myself in debt. Restoration is the word. And don't forget, get that list, get that pad, and write down the 3 things that will bring you back into happiness within yourself. It could be sketching, it could be going to the beach, it could be riding your bike, it could be singing, it could be a talent that you have that you want to develop. Find out what it is. That's your homework for tonight from Professor Scurv, as I teach from the parking lot of Whole Foods in Winter Park on Lee Road in Orlando Avenue. Look, I'm a citizen of the world. I'm a citizen of the world. I think globally. And so reach out to me again. Much love to my sisters. Salute to my warrior brothers. Let's keep holding it down. They're all good black men out here, no matter what the white Jewish-owned media says. And we need to open our mouths and speak and show the world that we're here and that we are doing what we're supposed to do. And if you want to show what you're supposed to do or what you've been doing, reach out to me, scurvmedia@gmail.com, right up top here, or 407-590-0755. I have so many more people to catch up with. Thank you for your patience. I'm trying to do a lot every single day, or I am doing a lot, but it's only for love and passion. Thank you for your Cash App donations, your PayPal donations. I try to get back to everybody, but sometimes I don't. But I'm showing you that I'm here as a servant of my people to keep a good word out there to combat the filth that's put on out there for our kids to absorb, to turn them out from what they are. Anyway, much love. I'm going to step away from this and break this equipment down and get this pizza if it's still open. The place is still open, but it's getting late right now. My battery's going down, and I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. I'm very interested in hearing the feedback and what you want to hear from this platform, because I could not do this without you. Anyway, it's funny, a bus would drive by, right? Those were the days. Take care, everybody. Much love. Peace.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at LanceScurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under LanceScurv.